Hello and welcome. The Art Collectors Guild selection for you now is Claude Monet's White Waterlilies. The original for this is in the Pushkin Museum of Fine Arts in Moscow, Russia. Claude Monet was born in Paris in 1840, and he died at his home in Giverny, which was just outside of Paris, in 1926. As a young child, the family moved to Le Havre, which is on the seacoast of France in Normandy, because his father was a chandler, someone who supplied the merchant ships. He was a very talented, artistic young boy, and at the age of 19, he came up to Paris and he studied at the Académie Suisse. When he came home for summer vacation, he met up with his friends Johann Jonken, the wonderful watercolorist, and Eugène Boudin. And they would go out to the seacoast and they would do their sketches and they would, really revel in their art. At the age of 22, he was back in Paris and he was studying at the studio of Gleyre. And at that studio, it was a hotbed of young artists. Young painters came from all over. There was Pierre-Auguste Renoir. There was Frédéric Bazille. There was Alfred Sisley. He and Renoir became fast friends. And they realized that they really didn't like standing in a studio and copying whatever the model was of the day. So they would take their easels outside and they would paint outside, and they were fascinated by the light and the breezes, and they wanted to try to capture the light. It was a new style of painting. As a matter of fact, in 1874, along with some of their other friends, Renoir, Monet, Degas, they were trying to display in the academic salon, and their pieces weren't really accepted. So they went to the studio of the photographer Nadar, and they organized their own exposition, or as we say in English, their own exhibit. One of the great art critics came around to review this, because it was, there was the salon, and then there were these upstarts. One of the pieces that was displayed, Monet's piece, was a piece that he had done of the harbor in Le Havre, because Le Havre actually means harbor, but the harbor at sunrise, and he called it Sunrise Impressionism. Well, the critic took one look at this, and then he looked at all of the other pieces, Renoir, Degas, all these others, and he turned around and he went, Impressionism? Impressionism? I mean, what is this? This Impressionism is for the birds. Well, the artist liked it, and the name Impressionism, it stuck. We call it that today. But the Art Collectors Guild selection for you now is Claude Monet's incredible artwork, the White Waterlilies. Look at how he captures the light on this. This is his home in Giverny. This was in his backyard. He built himself a lily pond. And then he put this wonderful Japanese bridge. It arches over the lily pond. But look at these lilies. The water is sparkling. He captures the light. The light is moving throughout. Look at how the colors, the greens move, the blues. Come up with me and stand on that bridge. We can feel the breeze moving through the trees. It's probably springtime, because up here we have the lilacs coming out. And we have the weeping willows. They're pouring over here. He plays with the light. He plays with color. He brings you everything. When he's talking about an impressionism, his impression, we have that impression. We're standing outside of there, we're looking at it, but we can stand on that bridge. We look at the water lilies, and it goes back. This is a flat surface, but we walk back into this. We're floating on the breezes. Come and stand with me back on that bridge. Look at these water lilies. Feel the breezes. Look at the light as it plays. Oh, we're transported. Monet, he just brings a new breath of life to us every time we look at this. So as the French say, l'art, c'est pour toujours. Art, it's forever. Merci. Thank you.